I'm Sean Wang, and I am a man who lives by gratitude, character, and faith. I like that monkey.
Yeah.
Everybody vibes with the
You
gorilla.
should put him right here.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
That thing gets more play. Everybody's like, "What's going on with the gorilla?" Everybody sits there, is like, "What's going on with that gorilla?"
Yeah.
We do need
It's
to
like
have
the
like a
one
gorilla.
thing, like everything that's going on in this room. It's like the one thing, like that you pick out. Yeah,
Right.
there's a gorilla right there.
But everything really looks like it should be here except for that gorilla. You know what I mean? If you really think about it.
You ever see Planet of the Apes?
Yeah.
Apes together,
Strong.
strong.
Yeah. There you go. I like that. There you go. Well, popping it on community. So, Sean, thanks for joining us today.
Yep. Anytime.
So, one of the big parts of our program is character.
Mhm.
So, I'm curious: is there anybody in your life who's helped shape your character? A family member, a coach, a mentor?
Well, you met my dad the other
Yeah,
day,
Jimmy.
and yep, you said that he's very outgoing and like authentic, and that's just how he is all the time, just trying to help people and wherever he can, just asking himself like, where can I be the most value to people and create the most positive environment for the people around me. And I kind of feel the same way. I mean, growing up watching him and being a father to me, you know, you look up to your father. Your dad's your superhero.
Right.
So kind of just looking up to him and growing up watching what he does, he was just able to lead by example, and I just kind of want to follow in his footsteps and just be a good person, have good character, and make it the best possible positive environment for the people around me and my team, and just everybody growing together type of thing.
Right. That's great. That's great, right? All about the team. It seems to be a constant theme, especially with Penn State wrestling.
Of course.
So how do you think that idea helps you perform? How do you think that helps you on the mat?
I think when you stop thinking about yourself and you start thinking more about the team, and it's kind of similar to how my dad raised me, but it's just like, how can I be of value to the team? And instead of thinking more about your personal goals or like about what you want to accomplish,
Right.
it starts becoming like this bigger thing. It's bigger than you,
Right.
and you're actually able to accomplish your personal goals and everything that's going to benefit you more effectively in thinking about the team and thinking about everybody else.
All right. That's outstanding. That's
Yeah.
outstanding.
So it's kind of like it's a weird thing, because it's like a weird balance.
Right. Well, it's, the balance, but you're aimed in the right direction and looking kind of off the mat in a way to help support everybody, and that support comes on the mat when it comes time to wrestle, right? Comes
Yeah.
time for
Sure.
a match. Yeah. So how about any of your teammates, or is any of your teammates like you look at for character? You're like, oh, like those are some people who might have influenced me.
Yeah, I think my roommates, Alex Facundo and Gary Steen, we spend a lot of time together. Josh Barr, he started living with us, but we just spend so much time together every day. It's kind of like you could feel the synergy, and you could feel everything that we do every day. It's like our lives are intertwined, and you could feel that sense of oneness, like the
Right.
connectedness, and we're all heading in the right direction, and we're all helping each other grow, and everyone's, on the same trajectory.
Right.
And just like you're saying, like, or what John was saying, when you're doing the right things, that's like when you feel closest to God, and that's when
Yeah.
you could feel your faith the most, which is like, that's what you guys are all about. That's your
Right.
mission, and I respect it because it's so authentic and it's so pure,
Right.
and you're just trying to help people grow.
All right. Well, thanks for being part of that mission. Appreciate you.
Yep.
So what drew you to Penn State? Why Penn State?
I didn't have like the traditional. I started wrestling when I was 5, and yeah, I grew up doing MMA, so jiu-jitsu and
Oh, wow.
kickboxing, and me and my dad would just watch UFC all day, and we started. One of my favorite fighters of all time is George St. Pierre, but when he was fighting and I was growing up watching him, he would kind of dictate like where the fight would go, because he could, even if he was getting touched up on his feet, he could control where the fight goes because he was able to take people down. And my dad was kind of like, all right, we need to get away from, like, just take a break from jiu-jitsu and kickboxing and kind of focus on wrestling.
Wow.
And I just trusted whatever he said goes.
Right.
So he just showed me one day, we were sitting on the couch watching UFC, and he just like pulled up this flyer on the internet, and it was like Penn State wrestling camp. And I've been going to those camps like since I was little, and
Wow.
ever since, like, I wanted to come to Penn State. But it's funny now because it's like full circle, because now we just got done running these camps, and just I was living in the dorms, he was living in the dorms, we were just like watching and babysitting these
Right.
kids, and I'm like, dang, I used to be one of those little
Right.
kids.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So how would you describe the identity of Penn State wrestling? If somebody's like, okay, what would be the attributes of a Penn State wrestler or the team?
I think in other people's eyes, it's like everyone is able to compete so freely. Like when we step on the mat, it's almost like nothing else matters, or like we just do it in our sleep.
Right. That's
And
great.
I think that's the aura our team carries, and yeah.
Right, that's pretty cool. Yeah, everybody talks about that freedom that's a joy. So we had some of the older wrestlers in here talking about he spots a Penn State wrestler because you can see that guy wrestles with a lot of joy, right? And that's like, freely, like you're not concerned about making a mistake. You're just out there and letting it roll.
Yeah.
Right?
I think when you could just, I mean, it's so cliche, like everybody says it, but when you could just find that joy in like those little moments, and you're able to just enjoy wrestling purely for what it is rather than the results, you know,
Right.
just focus on your habits,
Right.
then you're able to compete more freely. And yeah, I think a lot of guys on our team do a good job of that, and they're just excited to compete.
Right. That's great. That's great. That's I can tell you from everybody who's come in here that definitely everybody seems to be excited.
Yeah.
So tell me about, like, so if you can go back to like a younger version of yourself, like what advice would you give yourself? What would you tell yourself to help you succeed today?
Probably the same thing. Probably just take it slow and enjoy every moment, because like I was saying, I remember when I was just a camper, like it was yesterday, and now like I'm a counselor, like helping these kids, you know, trying to achieve their dreams and trying to get what they want out of wrestling.
Right.
And it all goes so fast, so I'd probably tell my younger self just every moment is precious, and just make sure you make every moment count.
Right. That's great. Right. They all count. They
Yeah.
all count. So, last question. Why do you think this program is important for younger kids? Why do you think it's important for them to touch on their gratitude and their character and their faith?
I think that it's bigger than wrestling, and this program is going to help them get what they want out of life and learn more about themselves. You know, it starts with wrestling, but it kind of turns into life through touching into your character and touching into your gratitude and touching into your faith, because those things, even though they're so simple, they just carry out throughout your whole life.
Right.
And whether that's like relationships or whether that's your career, I think if you could just focus on those three things, then you're going to be super successful.
Right on. That's great.
Yeah.
Sean Wang, thanks for being a road warrior,
Yeah.
and thanks for joining us on the Road to Resilience, brother. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Yep.